So I had a bunch of you reach out to me on my Instagram and ask me to do an updated favorites, what makeup I've been recently loving. I'm gonna do a separate video fully dedicated to each category. I'll probably just put it everywhere because I feel like not all of you follow me on every platform. Hint, hint. Go do that so you never miss anything. I'll have everything, direct links to shop, discount codes, etc. The usual, listed down below in the description box, so check that out. Along with the direct links to all of my social media platforms. So in case you aren't following me on another one, subscribe, follow, all of the things. I do have multiple favorites in a few of the categories, so it was kind of hard for me to pick, but I basically just went off what I've been noticing I grab the most often. Enough rambling, let's just jump in. First, and super important, you gotta start with your skin prep. So I can also dive deeper into that in my beauty favorites because skin prep is just so important. Like a lot of the times people think like a product doesn't work for them because of the product itself, but it could be multiple things. It could be maybe, yes, you're right, the product doesn't work for your skin type or the end goal that you're trying to achieve because it's not designed to work that way. It could also be user error, you're not applying it properly, but it could also be skin prep. Are you skipping your skin prep / using the correct skin prep? The correct skincare is going to be super important because you want your base to be like a clean blank canvas. Circling back, I'm going to start with my Derma-E Ultra Hydrating Dewy Skin Serum. So my skin is combination. It gets a bit oily through the T-zone here, but the rest of it's pretty much on the drier side. I also sometimes get peeling, like patchy areas, depending on my skin cycling. So I find that this product works really well to help hydrate, give my skin like a nice, dewy, soft glow that looks super duper natural, but just gives you like an instant boost. Because I use a lot of AHA, BHA, exfoliants, etc., it can get pretty stressed out. So this guy right here helps to protect and repair the skin barrier, and also just to help give like that luminosity, that glow, hydration back into the skin. So my skin's gonna get really red, I know, don't freak out. It doesn't like to be touched because of my rosacea, which I also have rosacea. Oh yeah, look at her, getting all inflamed. She's fine, she's just dramatic. It doesn't give like an oily appearance, it just gives a nice soft hydration, like supple, baby soft, baby smooth glow. You know? Before I applied it was really like dull, dry looking. I just love it. To add to that dewy, luminous look, I've also been loving the Maybelline Perfector 4-in-1 Glow Makeup. This is advertised as multiple products in one. A primer, concealer, highlighter, and BB cream. I don't feel it gives much coverage, to be honest, as far as like concealer. I wouldn't necessarily say that in my own opinion. But as far as a primer / glow, chef's kiss. We love an affordable product that works like high-end. I just put this bad boy on all over. It's got that like spongy tip, so you just give it a little twist right here. I just kind of messily, that's a word, right? Sloppily draw this guy, scribble him all over. There's no technique to it. It does kind of help to cancel out my redness a little bit, slightly, so I can see the BB cream aspect of it because it is like a slight tint, but it's not going to actually give you coverage. So keep that in mind. If you want to wear it alone, fine, but I personally like to wear it underneath my makeup. So then I just take my little kabuki and kind of just like swirl with a mixture of tapping, patting, whatever you want to call it. Again, no real technique to this. Just blend her on out, and it just helps to amplify that glow, which creates such a beautiful base to work on top of. Again, if you are an oily guy or gal, you might not love this product on all over. You can certainly use it in the high parts of your face, like where you would apply highlighter if you'd like, or just pair it with some mattifying products. So I would use like a mattifying foundation and primer mixed with it if necessary. I try to always give you guys options, you know that. My skin has changed since I began creating content / how long has it been? I don't know. Since 2009 is when I started posting. And my skin was super duper oily back then, but then I went through Accutane, and as I've gotten older, it's just definitely changed to more combination. So what worked for me then doesn't necessarily work for me now and vice versa, but I want to give you guys the options because we all have different skin, right? Or your skin might change. So pretty. All right, we have the base ready now. We can move on to some color correction. Oh, before I move on, I do want to mention sometimes I go in with a little bit of my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This is the little mini size, and I like to use my little spatchy spatch. Just carve out a little bit And then any area that sometimes I notice my texture shows more, which typically would be like in this area here, the sides of my nose, maybe the center of my forehead here, like around the cheek area. Anywhere that you notice your pores might show through, you can just add this as like an extra little layer, like a little spackle, if you will. Just take your little spatula, kind of just like tap. You can also use your finger, but I just like to use like a clean spatula to first grab the product for sanitation reasons, you know. So again, if you find your texture shows too much in certain areas, or you're worried about looking too shiny, like you need oil control, then this is also a great option to pair with your luminous products in the targeted areas, while still getting the benefits of that glow elsewhere. She is smooth and dewy. Moving on, I'm just gonna use this little acrylic plastic clear palette, that's the word. You can literally use anything. A lot of times I use like the little lid piece from a stack of eyelashes, like this. Works fantastic, and it's like free. Well, not really, because you paid for the lashes, but it's trash and now treasure because you can use it. Actually, I'll just do that because I don't remember if I cleaned that yesterday. So we're gonna use this guy. I've been loving this foundation recently. NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. I've been recently doing like 1 to 2 pumps. We'll go with 2 today. You can always add more. And then going back in with that brush we already used, we're just gonna give it a little taparoo. I prefer doing it this way rather than on my hand because I feel like my hand soaks up an unnecessary amount of product. Also, this helps me see better where my brush is being coated versus not, like that. And I like to start with the cheeks and then kind of just work my way in from there. So again, like a mixture between like little swirls and taps. I don't worry too much about like directly under the eye area with my foundation because I am going to go in with my concealer there. Will help with creasing as well, or preventing creasing, I should say. And then whatever's left on the brush, just bring down your neck. Another super helpful hint to get the best flawless looking makeup is first applying with a brush, then we're going to blend it out with our sponge. You can use whatever brand you want. I've been using the Real Techniques sponge a lot more recently than the Double B, the BB, you know what I'm saying? And we're just gonna quickly go all over. This is just gonna help soften any brush strokes, any possible lines you may have left over from your brush. Also, it helps to pick up any excess product. So if your brush did deposit too much product in any area, this is just gonna help soften that. I love it. It's just so light on the skin. Again, it's got that light reflecting finish to it, so it continues to hold on to that dewy, luminous, but natural skin-like finish while providing coverage. It is buildable, so if you want to add another layer, be my guest, but because I'm going to pair it with my full coverage concealer next, I don't find that necessary. So for the last few months, I was holding on strong to the Hourglass Vanish Concealer. If you know, you know, it is just so good. But I've recently gone back to using the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. Both are great, amazing options, beautiful finishes, long wearing, hydrating, but I just love this one a little bit more. So this guy has a doe foot applicator. I'm just gonna go right in with that. Any area that I need extra coverage, but also want to highlight because this is gonna be a bit lighter than my natural skin tone. I've been applying it the bottom area, tip of my chin. I get redness under my nose, the under eye, and then just bring it out and up. I do just kind of like to pull it a little to soften the application areas. And down the sides of my nose a little bit. I feel like you can already tell how much my face has like lifted on this side. It kind of like makes it slender between the brows, on the forehead a bit, and then down the bridge. Kind of make like a little wide heart shape there, and then the other eye. You don't necessarily need to use this much concealer. Obviously that's preference if you want to use less, but because I am using this to help accentuate the highlight, that's why I do. Another reason why I love this is that it has a nice dry time. It doesn't dry down instantly like a typical like mattifying concealer would. With a concealer that dries super quick, you literally have to apply section by section, like apply, blend, apply, blend. This has a lot of forgiveness to it because it is super hydrating. It gives you that time to apply, let it set for a few minutes, and then blend. So that's another thing too I like to do is, I've never actually timed it, but like, I don't know, maybe a minute, I just let it chill. Like in this rough sketch of a art project. And then I go in with whatever product was left on my sponge. I'm just gonna lightly blend her out. These two products apply together and blend together like an absolute dream. It's so good. Alright, so now we've color corrected all the red discoloration, scarring, any possible breakouts under eye, and we've highlighted. Now we need to go back in and create the shading. For my contour, I've been loving another drugstore product. This is the LA Girl Back to the Beach bronzer, technically, but it's like the perfect neutral tone. It's not too warm, not too cool, and it's giant. So I'm first going to take an angled brush. It is super duper pigmented, so just lightly kind of bop that in there. Start to pat the cheekbone area. See how it's got like that curvature to it? Right on the cheekbone there, working upward and away, like towards my hairline. You can kind of see where my face naturally starts to hollow and create its own shadow there. I'm also just going to take the edge there and just lightly follow that same shape pattern. And I know at first the highlighting and contouring part can look a little stark, like high contrast, maybe a little scary, but it's definitely a trust the process type of routine. So already just with the cheekbones, you can see the color start to come back into my skin while keeping that highlight area intact. This just blends over top beautifully. Also going to place it on my jawline, help chisel out that old double chin a little bit, like around my lip, bottom lip area. I'm super overdue for a fill, so the lack of lips that I have right now, we're just gonna work around that. Then the hairline, we're just gonna pull that up and away towards my noggin there. Just like slightly framing the face, giving that like sun-kissed glow that's super natural. I recently picked up on a pattern that I noticed that I do that I haven't actually like broken down and shared with you guys. So before I move on with the rest of my makeup, I'm just gonna take a little angled brush and show you how I've been contouring my nose recently. So you can see the way that I've already applied the previous product underneath that around my nose, it's already giving its own, or starting to give its own highlight and contour there. See, it's like right at the tip, got that highlight pulling it forward slightly on the bridge here, and then it starts to kind of shadow around the sides there. We're gonna follow that same pattern but intensify it slightly. So with a little bit of that product, technically you can use whatever small brush you want, but I find this one works really well. This is the Luxie, is it 182? Yeah, it's a double-ended angled brush. One side is very compact and the other side's more fluffy. So with the more compact side, I'm lightly going to create like a C shape right at the tip on both sides. So it's almost a full circle right around my nose there. Then with the more fluffy side, just lightly pull that, blend it down the, what is this called? Frontal tip area. Have you ever seen WandaVision? Or do you know the character I'm talking about where she wears like that headband that has like the horns right here? That's the shape that I thought of instantly. So right from the center here, just do a little line across. Also, if you don't know who or what I'm talking about, just think of like devil ears. It's the same concept. I'm just going to place like a V shape from that line we just did across, just like the length of the brush itself. And it's more of a tapping motion. From that like V shape, I just bring it down straight towards the center or tip of my nose. Outward V a little bit, and then from the tip there, straight down. Then again, just fluffy side, help to blend a little bit. It's really going to pinch in the tip of my nose there. And then I'm going to take my Beauty Blender again next and just blend slightly right over top all the line work we just did, just to help like blend that, soften it a bit. I noticed that shape, pattern, whatever you want to call it, I don't know if it makes sense to you, but I find it gives you like a better visual of the actual application and blend out by seeing like those like double horn shape like this. So once you have it blended out nicely with your brush, again, just take your little sponge and we're gonna blend lightly upward. Any area that you feel you want to or need to set, especially if you are on the oily side, my most important is the under eye. I'm going to go in with my recent favorite. This is the Huda Beauty. I go back and forth between 3 different colors. In the summer, I've been using Banana Bread. It's the darkest of the 3 that I own. Most recently, I've gone back to using Pound Cake, which is a lighter shade. And then I also have the pink tone, which is great for the under eye, but I don't love it all over the face. This is really good for brightening, but if If you're looking to just grab one, I would do the one that works best for all over. If you are willing to spend, of course you can mate the two. If you have the mini size, I don't like this little applicator because I find it hard to work with, especially under the eye or like small crevices like around the nose. I just find this to be too stiff. So I take another lid, I just tap off the excess. There. I like the concept of it, but it's just messy. And I like to use a little velour puff. I find it gives the best finish. I'm first going to start with underneath the eye because it has like this really nice triangular shape to it that makes it super easy to get right under there. From the under eye, I just pull downward along the side of my nose. I first apply with a heavy hand, following that upward, outward, and then right in here where I tend to produce a little extra oil. I don't do the full forehead, I just do like right in the center there. I find this works great with all skin types, whether you're dry, oily combination. It's just a beautiful powder. It gives such a beautiful finish. It's super fine milled. I love the scent of it. If your upper lip area gets sweaty, you can also apply there. You can honestly just apply it on all over. I just prefer to select where I apply to keep that like more dewy glow in the rest of the areas. Taking a fluffy brush, I'm just gonna blend away any excess. This helps to soften any leftover like harsh lines and just remove any excess product. While I move on to the rest of my face, I am gonna let this inner eye and the sides of my nose continue to bake a little longer. We'll go back to blending that out in just a bit. I'm gonna add some blush. For that, I've been loving Love Cake from She Glam. This is actually from Shein, but they have like their own makeup line. It's a dupe-diddy-dupe for another high-end product. This is literally $4, but works super duper well. So using the applicator itself, we're just gonna dab that. I normally do like 2 to 3. Start with 2, you can always add another if you want. And just start to dab her out. I like to kind of do like a little faux cheese to better see that little like cheek part that pushes up, you know? I like kind of twist my brush as I'm working with my blush just to help blend out. Ooh, she pigmented, but so pretty. This is the matte version, so I'm gonna add their liquid highlight with it. They do now make a luminous version. I have not personally tried it, but I'm definitely gonna pick it up next. So to mix in over top, you can actually do them at the same time or layer like I am now. I'm gonna take Bellini Brunch, which again is like $4. It's a liquid highlighter, and place that like this little C area here around the eye. It just has such a gorgeous pinky tone to it that works beautifully over top of your blush. So pretty. You can add a little on your forehead or your nose also, wherever, just like to softly diffuse it. Going to take that excess powder underneath the eye, lightly kind of like dab and blend it out. As far as the sides of my nose, I like to blend upward into the contour. I personally go back and forth between doing eyes and face first. If I know I'm doing like a darker, heavier, dramatic eye, I'll do that first because it's easier to clean up any fallout after the fact if your face is not done yet. But there is no like right or wrong way, it's just preference really. See how like everything starts off so like harsh and high contrast, but in the application techniques it blends so nicely. I think I want to deepen my blush just a little bit more, so I'm going to go in with my OG favorite, the NARS Orgasm. Just a little. I don't know, I'm feeling blushy today. Yeah, that's it. There she is. I do love Love Cake on its own day to day, but I don't know, I'm just feeling a little bit more color today. Probably because I've got the white on the white background and shirt going on. Taking another OG favorite that you've probably used or already own is the Urban Decay Primer Potion. Give it a couple seconds to set. Should be like tacky. Back to the Tartelette Clay Matte Palette. This is another oldie but goodie. I'm gonna start with Force of Nature. And right on the lid, I like to use my fingers sometimes as like a little barrier, especially when I'm working on camera because the mirror is a bit far away. And I think I'm starting to need contacts again. So just patting that up to the crease, but directly on the lid itself. It builds up really nicely. So I don't bring it all the way in, just like 3/4 of the way, but really focusing on that outer corner there, like the sides of the brush itself. And you can use any matte palette that you have. You don't need to necessarily use this one if you don't already own it. Then I'm going to take Dreamer right on that outer corner, add a little bit more depth. Taking my fluffy brush again, I'm just going to mix in a little Wander with Force of Nature. Just like window washer type movement back and forth to blend that. So it's just like a super wearable, nice, light, warm wash of color pretty much. Taking a smudger brush and a little bit more Dreamer on the bottom lower lash line, just a little bit. Just meeting up with that outer corner there. It's like super subtle, but it just adds a little extra definition. So using another favorite of mine that you've definitely seen before, the Gimme Brow Tinted Brow Gel. I'm going to use shades 2 and 3. I'm going to start with shade 3 first on the like middle, halfway, and outer tail area. Just following the natural shape. And then taking at shade 2, I'm going to do the front. I just really like the blend and like natural finish this variation of color gives. I feel like it really complements my hair color. I prefer a thicker shaped brow. If you prefer a thinner shape, it applies the same way, just use a lighter hand. And if you need to, you can take a little concealer brush with a little concealer on it and just help clean up the edges. I'm also like super overdue for my brows to get done. I've been letting them grow out for my brow girl just to really help like define the shape for my next appointment. So I'm just gonna go over like the little excess that I have underneath right here just to help kind of conceal those, but also to sharpen the shape. Look at what a difference that makes, like the eyebrows in general, but cleaning up the edge a bit. I think I want to add a little touch of shimmer, so I'm going to use another recent favorite. This is the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow Mighty Morphin, and I used this throughout my entire bachelorette trip and got so many compliments on it. You have to make sure you put the lid on tightly after though, otherwise you'll completely waste it, it'll dry out. I like to use my finger to apply these, so right on the inner corner here, right where it's light, I don't know what's that, maybe halfway, maybe, just going to press. Look how beautiful she is. Y'all are sleeping on these shadows, and they're cheap AF too. They're super buildable, you can sheer them out if you want, just like a light wash, or add a couple layers to like build up the intensity. Gorgeous. Oh, I love her. Mascara I'm going to quickly apply, but giving it a shout out. This is the Pillow Talk Push-Up Lashes from Charlotte Tilbury. I used this recently on my live on TikTok, and you guys lost your friggin' marbles when I applied it because you wanted to know what it was so badly. I love it. It's got like a unique shaped brush, so it's like kind of flat when you turn it and then rounds out. And then it has a lot of product throughout the center strip there that does not have bristles through it. Really great for building up the waterline and helping to conceal false lashes if you choose to wear them. I am going to apply a set today, so I'm just going to do a nice light layer of this mascara, but even without false lashes, which I did not wear them in my live, it's an amazing mascara. The volume, the length, the separation, the brush and formula are just perfection. Look at that. And I'll be honest, it's kind of like I'm half-assing applying and it's going on brilliantly. And then just whatever's left on the brush, I'm just gonna dab a little bit on the lower. Love, 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 love this mascara. Like, look how good that looks on its own. I didn't even add the falsies yet. Another product that deserves so much more hype and that I've been loving are the She Glam lashes. These I just recently all restocked on. I had gone through these packs already. I just like a variation, but they have a ton of super natural wearable style lashes, along with their dramatic ones, of course, too, but they have a great selection for natural, daily, subtle lashes if you just want to add a bit of length or a bit of volume to what you got naturally. I think I'm gonna go with this guy today. He's like a little bit clustery, but really natural. They have an awesome selection of lashes with clear bands, which is also a huge plus for me, something that I personally look for, especially when I want a natural looking lash. This one can be applied as a strip, or you can cut it to be like little individual clusters for like lash extensions. I actually added 2 sets because I'm feeling a little extra today. But still like pretty natural, even with both sets. I just really wanted like that extra oomph on the outer corner. So now using another go-to product, this is Endless Silky Eye Pen from Pixie by Petra. I'm gonna use this to kind of just like help blend in the lashes. Just like a little pressing moment. These apply like butter. Like you hardly have to apply any pressure. So I just put it right on the waterline directly and a little bit in the inner corner. This formula is just amazing. It comes in a bunch of colors too. Just adds that little subtle drama. Okay, finishing up. Just gonna add a little bit more to my highlight. And for that, I'm gonna use another product by Pixie by Petra. This is the Glowy Duo in Subtle Sunrise. Love this product. I stopped using it for a little bit just to try other things and then came back to it and I'm obsessed. So I'm gonna use the more pinky tone on my cheek there. Oh, it's just so good. And then more of the like champagne tone. A little bit on my brow bone and nose, like right at the tip and bridge. It just glides on the skin. It's so gorgeous. It is buildable, so if you want that blinding highlight, you can definitely achieve it with that, but it's also super easy to create a light wash. The secret ingredient to pulling all the makeup together and blending it and just giving it that sheer finish of perfection, MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus. Another oldie but goodie. So good. It's just like the perfect way to marinate your makeup all together. Only have a tiny bit left. Also, another must for me is this little rechargeable mini fan. It has 3 settings. I love her. She works perfectly for this part of makeup. I'm telling you, this is the secret sauce. It just removes any powdery finish, helps to add a little bit of boost of hydration and luminosity. We gotta go back to her. We stopped using her for a while. Perfect. I don't really have a like lip routine that I'm in love with right now. I just have one product that I've been loving. Where is she though? I think she's in my purse. Hold on, I gotta go grab her. I took her out last time I went out. She's also running low. I'm gonna have to refill her. But this is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in the shade Moon. It's just stunning. I'm gonna use a little bit of MAC Boldly Bare. She's just like absolutely the perfect day to night, everyday go-to color, in my opinion. It's not sticky. It has just like a super hydrating formula. It's like my lip color, but better. I'm obsessed with it. So that is everything for today's look and all of my most recent makeup must-haves. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to make sure you're still subscribed to my channel. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok for more day-to-day updates. Be sure to check out the description box down below for all the products used, exact shades, direct links to shop, discount codes, all of the fun stuff. I would also love it if you guys comment your top 3 must-have makeup products or 3 go-to products that are currently in your routine. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.